Hello and welcome to episode 175 of the Perth to Paisley podcast, a podcast dedicated to one of two Scottish Premiership teams awaiting their first victory of the 2024-25 season, Heart of Midlothian Football Club. Joining me, Adam Kennedy, to discuss the Jambos' latest disappointment after the draw with Ross County at Tynecastle is Daniel McIver. Mr. McIver, how are you?
I'm all right. I'm okay. Considering the fucking state of this football club, I'm all right. It's into my favorite time of year, as I've said before. Love Halloween, love autumn. This is what I'm here for. The only thing that's currently killing it is the fact that Hearts just seem allergic to winning games of football. So, apart from the thing we're going to spend the next hour and a bit speaking about, I'm doing good. How are you?
Yeah, fine. Um, I hate this time of year. Of course, it would just be nice to see Hearts take the lead in a game or have
What a
something,
novelty that would be.
noteworthy to chat about and discuss. And today I see a relocation is sold out for Easter Road and the Derby. Um, I
Can we just
was
quickly mention this?
I
I
was
was
2 loyalty points short. I'm
I was one.
fuming.
I was one.
Oh, disgraceful!
Actually
Absolutely
gutted.
disgraceful.
I'm
Yeah, so am I.
furious.
I'm really not a happy chappy, but
How dare us have such a good fan base? It's a fucking
yeah.
disgrace.
Selling out what? The entire stand?
Yeah,
It's
disgraceful.
the lot of you.
Let
Disgusting.
let less like kind of people who actually go to games like us get there first.
What? You've gone home and away following Hearts, tearing your points. No,
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 I'm
thank you.
not having it. Sheer selfishness. And yeah, sorry.
I wonder if it's really obvious we're trying to stall because we have nothing to say about this
Yeah.
game of football.
Do you know what makes it worse is I went to Paisley on somebody else's account. That could have been me.
Well, then I have no sympathy for you. I have
Yeah,
none.
I know, I hate myself. Speaking of things I hate, we're going to chat about Hearts not winning games of football. But before we do, we're going to go around the grounds like we always do. Starting off at Dens Park, where Dundee were defeated by Aberdeen 2 goals to 1 at Dens, obviously to continue the Dons' unbeaten start. That's brilliant. Ahead of us going up to Dodgy
Yeah,
for the weekend.
a place
What's
that we're
that?
always so successful
Yeah.
at.
That 12 straight for Aberdeen now?
I think
Yeah,
11? No, 12. It was 11 before the game, I think. Yeah.
magnificent. This was the first real test, wasn't it? Given that they played obviously the dog and duck in the League Cup groups,
Yeah.
but just goes to show you momentum is absolutely everything. And a side that's lacking in momentum is Kilmarnock, as they were
Yeah.
held by Dundee United in a crazy 3-each draw at Rugby Park. Kelly spurning a 2 goal lead. What an impact substitution from David Watson. Incredible goal, the equaliser. And speaking of, just sides that have got momentum, Motherwell are another one. They beat St Mirren 2-1 at Fir Park. A not so happy return for Stephen Robinson back at the Steelmen. And obviously, of course, all the Motherwell rejects that now play for St Mirren. And on Saturday evening, in front of the Premier Sports cameras, a 5:45 kickoff for no apparent reason, where, let's be honest, it was over before a ball was kicked. St Johnstone swept aside by Celtic 6-0 in Perth. And Sunday's sole Scottish Premiership fixture was played out by two teams that I really am not a big fan of. That is Rangers and Hibernian. And the Gers scraped past Hibs 1-0 at Ibrox. Some controversy, some good laughs. Um, but thankfully, Hibs lost. So, what did you make of the other five fixtures within the cinch? It's not even called
Perfect
the cinch
summary.
anymore, but
It's not,
we'll
but
go with
fuck
it.
it. I
The cinch was
still call it.
iconic.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
still kind of think of it as that anyway. As you say, Hibs lost, so it wasn't a total write-off of a weekend. There was still
But
that.
they shouldn't have, should they?
Well, that's the thing. They lost in a way that was funny for Hearts fans, where you don't score a penalty at Ibrox. Kukurevich, I can't remember if I've ever mentioned it on this podcast. I fucking hate stutter run up penalties.
Yeah,
They're
I'm not a
really
fan either.
easy to save if the keeper just doesn't move and Butland just goes, yeah, I'm just not going to move here. And the player just shits
Shocking
themselves.
penalty, it has to
Yeah.
be said.
Jordan Pickford seems to be the only goalkeeper in the world that seems to understand this because he saves all of them. So yeah, Rangers just continue to struggle their way through this season thus far. Um, and it seems that a lot of Hibs fans in defeat, but seem to think that this is them turning a corner under Gray. So that's going to be interesting to see kind of
Hope
how
not.
this month pans out, considering I saw someone say that this is kind of now their easier run of games. So time will tell on that. Uh, are Celtic ever going to concede a goal in the league?
What's that? 6 victories without conceding a
Six
goal.
victories, 20 goals, none conceded.
What is the point?
I saw
I mean,
somebody,
what is the point?
I saw, I can't remember who sent me it. I think it was my mate sent me it where it was like the BBC sent out a tweet being like, Celtic 101, how to beat the press of St Johnstone. And folk were like, yeah, you just have a squad that's like 20 times the budget of the opposition you're playing. Like, it's St Johnston they were
Who have just
playing,
sacked their manager
who
as
are
well and got a
managerless.
caretaker?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Until
Um,
today,
it's a very good point.
what was the guy's name?
I can't remember what his name is. Is it the Riga boss?
Yeah, it's the Finnish man. Um, his
That's
name
now his name. I
is
don't want you to find his name. We are
Simo
referred
Valakari.
right. It's actually quite a cool name, but we will refer
Never
to him
heard of
as
him.
the
Sorry.
Finnish man. Was he the
Sorry,
Riga
Simo.
boss when we beat them?
Great question. I'll go on and have a
Find
look.
that out as I speak about Motherwell St Mirren and all every weekend. It seems like there's loads of red cards this season. I don't know what it is.
It's a different Riga. So
Oh,
they are Riga Football Club,
there's
whereas
nothing
we
even
were what
exciting about
were
this
we
thing.
Riga Foot? What was
We were
ours?
against like
Was ours
RFS.
RFS?
Yeah,
Yeah,
fuck's sake, there's nothing even
Riga
exciting then.
Football Scholar. So yeah, no, two different teams, I'm afraid.
God's sake. Yeah, there just seems to be
I
loads of
really
rid
don't want to talk
cards.
about this game. This just
No,
shows the
neither do I.
loopholes that we're going down
Yeah,
already. We're not
exactly.
even 10 minutes in.
Motherwell do just seem to. Motherwell have Lennon Miller, and it means that you're just going to win games, basically. And I'm just
Can't
obviously,
believe he was overlooked for the Scotland squad that was released today.
yeah, that was my. Oh yeah, Craig Gordon's back in that. What the fuck's going on? I mean,
Andy Irving's in it.
we listen. I think the last 4 months has really been. I don't think we've been smug enough about the turnaround of Andy Irvine and how we were the only people publicly being like, he will go to the top. He's great. We should have paid the £900 a week he was asking for.
Lovely left peg.
What a guy.
Look at him now.
But
Look at him.
Lennon Miller wasn't in it. But Motherwell were probably chuffed about that because it means there's no risk of him getting hurt in games that Motherwell won't give as much of a shit
Yeah,
about.
I mean, they'll obviously want to cough up. They want opposition teams to cough up a larger transfer fee. So, I mean, I can understand their dismay and annoyance at that. But yeah, but again, like they're just on a really good run. What have they won?
Yeah.
Something like 5 of their last 6, Motherwell.
I
So
can tell you right now, I've
seem
got their
seem to be
form in front of me.
motoring anyway. I think they're one that perhaps I underestimated coming into this season.
They have won 5 of the last 6, if you include
Yeah,
all comps.
incredible.
Um, yeah, so absolutely fair play to them. St Mirren, I still don't know what to think of them, like at all.
Yeah. They're just so dependent on results in Paisley, though, aren't they? St
Yeah,
Mirren.
I have no idea what they're going to do this season. I mean, apart from beat us, which was the most nailed on thing in the fucking world.
Oh,
Um,
great price.
Aberdeen just continue. Obviously, that it was quite understandably overshrouded by the Mo Silla situation, and thankfully he's
Oh,
back
God, yeah.
home. He's
Yeah,
back home. I
absolutely.
saw that either yesterday or today. I can't remember when he got home, but that's great to hear because that's obviously really terrifying. And I
Definitely.
imagine it affected the Dundee squad a lot going into that second half. But Jimmy Thielen, just look at the novelty of going out and getting a good manager. What a novelty. Hopefully that'll be us. Hopefully that'll be us.
Fingers crossed.
Kim Hellberg, please.
If Star Lizard and or sorry, that unnamed
Oh yeah,
analytics
the
company can
unnamed
help us out. Yeah, yeah.
thing, yeah.
Yeah, hopefully we can reach a conclusion soon.
And then yeah, Killie Dundee United. Killie just play class games of football but never win, basically.
At least they kept 11 on the park this time.
That's
That
true.
helps. That does help.
Genuinely a novelty for them. As you say, would you say it was an overhead kick by David Watson? Because it wasn't really an overhead, it was just
No,
mental.
I'd say it was a scissors kick.
Yeah, scissor kick's better. Yeah, it was just
Yeah.
he's just great, isn't he? He's just class.
He and Lennon
Um,
Miller, and then look at the lack of kids that we produce.
I know. Hey, Andy Irvin.
Yeah, and when they do, they decide that they
They
want to go
fuck off.
to Munich to a team that then
Yeah.
dies, recreate and then reinvent themselves in Austria, and then get moved to the Premier League. But hey,
Yeah.
it's fine. I'm
Amazing.
not bitter at all. Well done, Andy. You've done really well for yourself. We'll
Kelly,
we'll be fine. Don't worry about us.
I was obviously at our game, and in the final 5 minutes, just looking at the Kelly game, being like, well, this is it. We're the only team
Don't.
not to have won.
I did the exact same thing. I even in the car on the way back, for whatever reason, it didn't register that it finished 3 each. I was like, oh, brilliant. So
It
that's
didn't.
us,
I
the
was the
only team
exact
that'll
same.
win.
I
Yeah.
was the exact same. I think it was a couple hours later where I was like, oh, they conceded a 99th minute
Yeah.
penalty. Right. Okay.
Just carnage. Absolute carnage.
So, yeah, a very exciting, entertaining, enthralling weekend of Scottish football.
Some great
And
goals within
yeah, exactly.
this
Lovely
weekend.
goals. And then you get to our game, which in fairness had one great goal, but one I don't want to see.
And yeah, yeah. That's
How are we going
very,
to speak about this? I have
very,
nothing to say.
very aptly put. Do you know what the thing is for me? I, yeah, this might sound crazy, right? But I honestly don't think it was as bad as some are making out
Neither do
this
I.
game.
I just think it was quite nothing. I think we were
Yes.
fine for a lot of it.
I think the bar has been set that low that anything was going to be seen as an improvement.
Yeah.
But that being said, I think if you were to dissect the chances at a deeper level, this is a game that we could have won.
Yeah.
That
It's one of
I
those games that screams your luck's out, you're bottom of the
yeah,
league. Not like even if we'd had one win this season, that chance at the start goes in. When Shanklin hits the bar, it goes in. Like Shanklin scored about 30 goals. All of Shanklin's goals last season were harder than the one that he hit the bar with, I feel like. But it's just when your luck's out, your luck's out.
it's momentum and confidence, isn't it? They're the
Yeah.
two kind of key characteristics. But there were some eyebrows raised at the team selection. Liam
Oh, I've
Fox
got something to say about this.
making 5 changes to the side that was beaten in Paisley by St Mirren last weekend. Frankie Kent and Kai Rose were restored to the heart of the centre defence. Cammy Devlin and Alan Forrest also saw a return to action. Outdropped James Penrice, Craig Halkett, despite scoring against St Mirren, Malachi Boating and Blair Spittle, and with Gerald Taylor confirmed out for the foreseeable future with a suspected knee injury, I believe is ACL.
Yep.
There was also a Hearts debut handed to B team captain and 19-year-old right back Adam Forrester. That meant Hearts lined up as follows: Craig Gordon in goal, a back four of Forrester, Kent, Rolls, and Stephen Kingsley. Cammy Devlin and Benny Beringame in front of the back four, with Kenneth Vargas on the right, Alan Forrest on the left, and George Grant basically hovering in a free midfield role, looking to support Lawrence Shankland in attack. On the bench for the Jambos, Xander Clark, Craig Halkett, Daniel Uyugoke, Barry Mackay, Blair Spittle, Jan Danda, Macaulay Tate, Liam Boyce, and James Stroke Luke Penrice. What did you make of it?
Why was Luke dropped? He's been our best player this season.
I would agree with that.
Stephen Kingsley isn't good enough to be a left back anymore, right? He's just not.
Not got
For
the
what
legs to say.
for
That's
what
my
we
thing.
need the left back to be defensively, still sound. He's
Yeah,
Stephen Kingsley, but we need a marauding left back who'll get forward. That's not what Stephen Kingsley is anymore.
no.
If there has been given an explanation and I've missed it, then ignore everything I'm saying. But if it was tactical, is Liam Fox trying to not get it? Is he so worried that they might actually give him it after what happened with the last interim that he's like, I'm just making sure, lads? Because he's a Hearts fan. So is he like, I know I'm not good enough to be permanent and I'll worry they offer it?
But that can't be the case, given Andrew McKinley has openly said he will not be the
Yeah,
next Heart of Midlothian manager by any stretch
but
of the
these
imagination.
office
The
people
club,
say anything.
whoa, the club have supposedly learned their lesson.
Yeah.
So, so
Well, maybe
let's
Liam
just
Fox is just putting it beyond any doubt.
we're taking that for gospel. But yes,
Yeah.
this did appear to eradicate any doubt. What I, I I don't get it either. I also don't get Malachi Boating, who's arguably
Well,
been our second best
why is he
player.
not even in the squad?
Exactly, what's happened there?
He must be hurt. He must be hurt.
But why the club could then come
Communicate
out and say
that.
something? Yeah,
Yeah.
like Yeah, that used to be. I used to be one of these wee dweebs that would wait until 1:45, and then instantly look at the team and go, "Oh my God, we're missing so and so. What's happened?" Waiting on the club to then go, "Oh yeah, they're out with they've picked up a knock in training, and therefore they
Yeah.
won't be available." Or, "Oh, they're ill today. They won't be in the back line, or what have you." None of that.
And it's like,
Absolutely,
yeah, I
none of
will
that.
accept any of that. If it's
Yeah,
even like he
just
just
give
woke
us a
up and
lame
didn't
excuse.
fancy it, it's like, right, okay, but
Now he knows
at
how the
least
rest of us
something.
that actually went to
Yeah,
Tiny feel.
exactly. Um,
The dog ate his homework. Like, I don't know. Just come up with
anything,
something.
anything.
Anything would have done.
So yeah, just fucking hell. George, why is George Grant still here? Why is he still
George,
playing?
no. Because I would tend to agree with you. However, the bar is that low. George Grant, up until the weekend, has looked one of our better
I
players.
know.
This is what I'm trying to say.
I more mean in a general
We
sense.
are in the doldrums. Like this is it. This is trench time.
What was it? 2 years ago, he dived against Riga. No, not against Riga, against Zurich.
No, against Zurich, I've
Um,
never forgiven him since, and
so
he's
how many
been
fucking
a
transfer
bang
windows
average.
have we had since then?
So we'd have had that January, the summer, the January, the summer. So what, four? Is
Four.
that
We've had
right?
four fucking windows, two of which are like full season overhauls, and we're still lining up with George Grant starting.
The fact that what is it, 9 summer signings were made, and then I think
And
it was
none of
Mark
them were
Donaldson
playing.
pointed out none made the starting 11.
As
Even
soon as,
even a player that you tipped to start, Barry Mackay, nowhere
yeah,
near it.
no one near
Like,
it.
what's going on?
I will say, I called Forrester starting because
Yes, you did.
I watched Liam Fox's press conference and it was the funniest thing ever. I called, yeah, last week I called it. Then during the week, I watched Liam Fox's press conference and it is that man should never play poker because he's asked about his team selection by I think Brian McLaughlin, and it's like, listen, I'm not going to make massive wholesale change. There's no point in me doing that. Still same crop of players, but I'm also not going to reveal plans to do anything. And then someone else goes, obviously, you've got you are the current B team manager. Do you think we'll see any of them? And he spends 3 minutes just going, I love Adam Forrester. He's amazing. He's fantastic. What a future he has for her. So everyone's like, well, he's starting at the weekend, then Liam. Okay. And he did. And listen, I thought he was fine. I thought he fell out of the game a bit, but in the first 20 minutes, he looked like the most positive player going forward. So fair play to him.
Um, do you remember when we were told by the previous manager that we would have players graduating from the B team to then be part of the first team, and we didn't see that at all?
Yeah, that was a laugh.
Yeah. Um, Look, you've got to chuck them in at some stage. This was the time for it, obviously, with
Yeah,
Gerald
totally.
Taylor, and he couldn't possibly have been worse than some of Gerald Taylor's bad performances because when
Oh,
he's been
my big
good, he's
prediction.
been incredible. But when he's been bad, my God, has he been bad?
My big prediction is we will never see Gerald Taylor play for Hearts again.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be
I
back
was
by the end
thinking
of the
that.
season, and I don't think the club will then take a risk to buy him on the basis of what we saw.
Good thing we kept Nathaniel Atkinson around just in
I
case.
disagree with this. I totally disagree with this.
I want to wind up. I was never the
I
biggest
don't
Nathaniel
even mean
Atkinson
it.
fan, but now he would start.
No, he wouldn't. I
Yes, he
disagree.
would. Yes,
I
he
would
would.
disagree with it.
Over Oyegoke, he
I
does.
would disagree with it because
So far, I'd love for Oyegoke to prove me wrong.
Atkinson Atkinson
I
is the
think he
same
needs a run of
situation.
games.
Atkinson's the same situation as Grant. Atkinson had 2 years to prove himself and never did. He had a run of like 9 games where he was all right. Right? The club went into this summer with two new signings right backs, and the B team captain is a right back. So you're
And
like,
then
right,
he's
that's
astonished
three.
that he's then shown the door. It's like,
Yeah, it's
well,
like, right, come on, we've got a because otherwise we then just start hoarding players, and we've been criticised for that in the past, understandably. Where it's
I'm
just like,
criticised for doing that this season as well
yeah,
so far.
exactly. So it's like I disagree with this notion of, oh well, Taylor's got hurt, fucking idiot letting Atkinson go. It's like what? We've still got two right backs. That's how a club works.
I was just throwing it out
I'm
there.
glad
Like,
you mentioned it though, because
all right,
I
okay.
saw, I'll say it. I'll call him out. My brother was one of them, right? So I had to deal with that at the fucking game.
Ah, Kier, great work in winding your brother up. Fantastic.
He
Something
succeeded.
that wound me up was an opportunity after 2 minutes. You alluded to it at the start. How Heart of Midlothian do not take the lead here. I don't know. You don't know. None of the 20,000 that were at the game know. A nice passing move. Whole host of first team players involved before Adam Forrester, who you alluded to, was a bright spark in the
Yeah.
in the early stages, and Kenneth Vargas exchange a lovely 1-2. Lee Vargas has one of the worst shots I've ever seen, but is fortunate to then get a second bite of the cherry. He looks to bend one. Ross Laidlaw saves, spills, and Lauren Shanklin pokes past him. Our number nine passes back to Cammy Devlin in a better scoring position than he is. A few yards out, seemingly all of the goal to aim at. It's at his wake. But Ryan Leake denies the Aussie on the line with an incredible bit of defending. However, he has got to score, Daniel McIver. It haunted me, so I can't imagine how he feels. I left the ground thinking, I still can't believe that we don't take the lead early doors.
So this is where I reveal I hated that game so much. I've not watched it back at all, right? So I'm just remembering what it was. And it just feels like, as I say, if that is any other time in our history, that probably goes in. But it's like the perfect concoction of fuck ups where it's like, we've not won yet. We've got an interim manager. It's the first 5 minutes. The crowd's
First
tetchy.
attack.
First
First attack
attack.
under our their manager.
It falls to Cammy Devlin, the worst player for it to fall to the football pitch. And I include Craig Gordon in that. And you're just like, of course it doesn't go in. Now, it is an amazing block, right? It's fucking insane.
It's ridiculous, but come on.
But it just sums us up just now.
Yeah, yeah. This
Cammy
is
scored
this is it.
2 goals this time last year for outside the box in Europe. And now we can't score in an open goal for 2 yards.
It highlights
But
the
as
position
soon
that
as
we're
that
in.
happened, I went, well, that's going to sum up this fucking game. You could just tell the way it was going to go. It was like, this will be a summary of the game.
I I was trying to be more optimistic. There
Okay.
was that creeping doubt that, as you say, if we can't score that, will we score today?
Yeah.
Will we score at home again? Is that our last goal at Tynecastle ever? But I, I, j- I honestly, we carved out enough chances.
We
We did.
did. We did.
This
On
will be the
another
theme of the
day, they go
afternoon.
in.
Yeah. So I'm trying to be. Usually, I'd come on here and be like, a draw at home to Ross County, shit result. Like, there's no excusing that. This was the perfect chance to win, yada yada yada. But I honestly don't believe it was that bad.
Same. That's
Because
why I say I just don't have much to say on the game because I'm just like, we were unlucky, I feel.
no, exactly. I mean, we could have easily found ourselves 1-0 down after 5 minutes. Noah Chilvers takes a Ross County corner between the Roseburn and the Wheatfield stand. A deep one to the back post, bounces in and around the box. We've failed to clear and eventually breaks for the Englishman again as he nips into the box, but thankfully blazes his effort high and wide into the stand. Cammy Devlin then looks to make amends for his earlier sitter up the other end after 5 minutes. Alan Forrest bombing down the left hand side, gives it inside to our Aussie anchor. However, his drive is gathered by Ross Laidlaw down to the goalkeeper's right hand side. To me, I saw the intent early on. I think
Mhm.
that's a reason as to why I was positive as well. Get wingers high and wide and try and look menacing down the flanks because we have missed this for a good while now.
It was such a fucking weird game. It's so weird because, yeah, I was like, we look all right. And I say this, right? I say that we missed that chance, and I'm going, oh, this sums up the game. There was weirdly a part of me that was like, I don't think we're going to lose this. I don't think I ever thought during the game we were going to win. But I think I just had in my head, I was like, I think we're going to get a goal for somewhere. When I got in 94, I was a bit worried. But I just had this feeling. And maybe it was just down to the fact that I was like, well, you can clearly see there's something here. The second half didn't really have it, but the first half, as you say, it's quite similar to St Mirren. But it was like, right, okay, we at least look like we're doing something.
Yeah, because that had been lacking in the weeks prior to the St Mirren game,
Yeah,
probably, where we then found ourselves that deep in the mire in Paisley. It was like, shit, we've got to get a
yeah.
result here somehow. And then obviously the change of voice, the change of personnel. You then think, right, okay, we're up against a team that's lost to Spartans in the League Cup so far this season, that conceded six to Rangers at the National Stadium, have responded well, but concede a flurry of late goals, score some late goals themselves, right enough. But Ross County had a bit of an inconsistency heading into the game, so it's probably a good game for us to try and
Yeah.
get off the mark. Um, but of course, that was it for the one to try. And on 12 minutes, George Grant takes a corner low, fizzes it along the deck for Alan Forrest to have an effort at goal. It's not the best. Kenneth Vargas then catches Michi Effete as he tries the spectacular with an overhead kick, and it's given us a county free kick. Kenneth Vargas, I like, you like. We have leapt to his defence after what we believe to be a solid season last year. He's first in Scotland coming over from Costa Rica. But this season, so far, Kenneth Vargas has proved about as useful as a chocolate fireguard
Yeah, he's just done much like the majority of this squad, he's done nothing.
at all.
Literally nothing.
And look, he's not a winger. I think he's a
No,
centre forward.
so do
I
I.
think his finishing is suspect, but I do believe that he's more effective through the middle.
Yeah.
I, what are we really expecting from him down the flank? I feel like we basically had to start him because again, down that right hand side, we just appear to have nobody.
Musa! Where's
Again,
Musa?
another omission that like why?
What's going on? Because every time he's apparently fucking played, he's looked all right.
I don't get it. I really don't get it.
But yeah, definitely. Vargas, though, is one of those players that I'm excited to see under a new manager with a clear system. I'm like, oh, okay. Then it's like, right, we actually have, because it has felt like with Naismith this season and then Fox, kind of just like, Kenny, go and just run a boot. It's like, I feel like he needs more coaching than
I,
that.
I genuinely don't even think that's a I just feel like he does that off his own back. Like he's that
Coaches
nuts.
Desi Marst about it.
And no, they just let him wander
Yeah.
free in the wilderness.
Whereas I'd like
That
to see him with a coach be like, do these specific things,
I
please.
stick to this structure.
Yeah.
Here are your instructions. We
Be a
want you to take on the
footballer.
full back, or we want you to play off the shoulder,
Yeah.
or
Cut
yeah,
in or take them on and stuff like
yeah,
that.
like
Like,
he just does his own thing. The wee man, yeah, I love him, I do. But so far this season, this just isn't it. And like, I just I don't know. He doesn't hide, but
yeah, I was
even
literally going to say that.
he resorts to kind of chucking himself on the ground, and it's like when his ideas when he's got ideas, great, but as soon as they run out, he's just hitting the deck, and it's like just get up, get on with it.
Agreed.
Um, again, 31 minutes, Alan Forrest and Cammy Devlin link up, those two trying to do something from a Hearts perspective at least. Um, Forrest again getting high and wide, centres for Devlin, but his side-footed effort is gathered easily by Ross Laidlaw once again. A really poor effort at goal. As we go in search of the opening goal, but just it wasn't happening for whatever reason. When our chances are falling to Cammy Devlin, as you rightly say, we're in deeper doo-doo than I think we are.
Yeah. Cammy, I love you.
I,
But
I love you,
learn how to kick a ball.
but don't even advance any further than the center circle
Yeah.
because you're wasting your time, you're wasting our time. There's no point.
Unless
Just
it's in the Conference League. Then do that.
against some Norwegian mob.
Yeah.
Um, but despite the early
I was
pressure,
like, just fucking get to it, man.
yeah, we had a couple chances and opportunities, but Ross County take lead thanks to a stunning strike from Ronan Hale. Horrendous touch from George Grant in the middle of the park, sees County break. Elijah Campbell picks up at left back. The Everton loanee finds the Staggy striker on the left hand side, flicks inside to former Jambo Connor Randall, who was running the show. The county captain is dispossessed by Benny Beningame. Um, And listen, they're fortunate to receive the break of the ball, but there is absolutely nothing fortunate about the number nine's finish. He cuts inside, bends one past Craig Gordon, quick as a flash. Heart Midlothian nil, Ross County 1.
When your luck's out, it's out. Ross County are scoring these against us, are they? Is that what's happening? Oh, I see. After Benny Bingham perfectly does what he did all game and wins the ball back really fucking well. Kent gets spinned so easily, by the way. He is not the major person at fault for this, but I just remember seeing it. But this was my point about George Grant. How is he still playing and starting?
The
And he
lack of
fucking got the whole game.
the lack of tracking back. I know we're gonna get into the changes second half, but I think I didn't understand some of them
It's an
either.
amazing hit, right?
Incredible
It's a
finish.
fucking ridiculous hit, but it was just so like, of course that's happened. Of course they've scored that goal. It's not like they've scored a corner and it's a dramatic. Like we, it's not like they've scored the goal we scored.
Would you rather have conceded that?
No. Well,
Yeah.
at that time, yeah. If in like the 30th minute, I'd rather concede a. Oh, but I get what you mean. Where it's like you almost put your hands up and just go, "Oh, it's a fucking raker."
Do
It's
you know what I
not.
mean? Like,
It is our fault because George Grant
yeah.
fucks it. But
It's
yeah,
so cheap, the concession of
I know.
possession. So cheap. And
I
then the
know.
lack of tracking back. This is why I get annoyed. Because I know that Kenneth Vargas will put a shift in.
Yeah,
Am I as convinced that George Grant will put a shift in, particularly when it's his error? No,
no,
I'm not, to be
no.
honest. I wouldn't I wouldn't be confident in depending on George Grant. Put it that way.
It's a good way of putting it. Especially
Um,
because like it's fucking Zurich, we couldn't defend them.
but again, you said it. Phenomenal finish. There's your Shankland replacement right there. Ross County, how much do you want? He's made an incredible start to life in Scotland. Just pay the money.
Wow. I mean, I will be honest. I have no idea who the guy is. I still have no idea who the guy is. I've
Neither did
forgotten
I.
his name.
But Liam Boyce basically rose to prominence at Ross County, and we both
That's how
went with
you're doing it.
Boise. So
We're
yeah,
using a decade old example of
he was the
one
league's
player at
top
one
scorer,
club.
MacIver. There was a time where Liam Boyce used to score goals. I love Boise. I'm so sad. He's just
Hey,
a clown.
he came on and we scored. I'm fucking saying nothing else, right?
And we should have scored before that, but
Yep.
thanks to him. But,
Yeah. So therefore, Boise
yeah,
captain, get him starting at Batodry. Come on.
and then try and make a bid for Ronan Hale in January once Shanklin signs a pre-contract with Rangers because it's abundantly obvious at this point. On 42 minutes, our best chance of the half as we go in search of an equaliser. And we've just mentioned Lawrence Shanklin there. Kyrol sends a long ball into the box, which is deflected. Ross County clear, but only as far as Benny Beningame. The ball's doing lots of bouncing, toing and froing before Stephen Kingsley eventually gathers at left back. We've said that he doesn't have the legs. I stand by it, but what he does have is a wicked delivery. He sends a lovely deep cross into the box, finds Lawrence Shankland, who evades his marker, nods his free header wide of the mark, and considering he was still in search of his first league goal at this point, that is the type of chance that last season he buries 10 times out of 10. I just found myself letting out a massive and unintentional, oh my God, no! As frustration grew amongst the home crowd.
Last season, he fucking scorpion kicks that for a laugh and it goes in. Never mind just the heat of it.
Oh.
It's so infuriating.
He
It's
does
just,
so well to evade his marker as
I
well, and a
know.
lovely ball from Kingsley. And that was the point where I thought, shit, we really aren't scoring today.
Yeah, it was just,
If it doesn't come off for Cammy Devlin, you accept that. If it
yeah.
doesn't come off for Lawrence Shankland, you think, shit, we are really in deep bother here.
At this point, I was starting to be like, O'Kelly are winning. Well, this is bad.
You know when you're comparing your results to Kilmarnock and they're not toward the top end of the table, that your
I hear
club's in the mud.
my mate was like, my mate Sinead was like, I fucking heard somebody say, "Oh well, at least that result means Ross County don't pull away from us." And I wanted to shoot myself in the head.
It's a valid point. It's a very valid point. This is where we find ourselves comparing ourselves to Ross County and Kilmarnock.
It's
I
so
know
weird that
Kelly
the
finished
bottom
fourth last
two.
year.
It's so weird that the bottom two are hard to come out third and fourth last season.
Like this is a curse. Like you do so well in a season to finish as high up as you can, and then you're rewarded, or it feels like you're rewarded, but then it just goes to complete shit the year after.
Shout out the folk, by the way, the mental cases that want us to appoint 2 wins in 15 Derek McInnes because he knows the league and does really well in the league, doesn't he?
Come
Fuck
on,
me.
Kelly's squad is wafer thin.
It's
We've
two
got
wins in 15.
we've got a bloated squad. He could get something out of George Grant.
You are insane. Don't you fucking dare even pretend to say that sentence authentically. That's the most. How are we here? It's the 1st of
I
October
can
and
be
you're
the, I can
uttering
be
sentences.
the,
Derek McInnes could get somebody out of George Grant.
that could be the best thing I've ever said on the
How
podcast.
far have we fallen? How
Oh,
fucking far?
we are in the mud. We are well and truly in the mud.
Derek
Half
McInnes
time.
could get someone out of George Grant. Fuck me.
Did George Grant previously play for Aberdeen? If so, Derek McInnes would be all over it.
God,
Oh,
I just had a fucking vision of February as we're second bottom and Grant's captain away at St Mirren and McInnes is just shouting at him to get forward. And I've quit the podcast. It's like,
oh. But anyway, half time. Hearts nil. Ross County won. Um, any any positives to take? Maybe that it wasn't two.
I thought again, there was intent. We looked like we had a plan, vaguely. I don't know if the plan's a good plan, but it looked like we had a plan. Um, I have
I,
no idea what we're going to say about this second half, barring the changes and the goal. So I'll kind of just say it now. It was at this point where it really hammered home. Fuck me, we never play the ball through the middle of the park. It's always, always out wide. Then like Danda comes on and
I,
tries.
I don't mind that though. That's what I was going to say. Like we've not used the wings enough. It seems to be through defenders that we've tried to provide with
Yeah, we just go to wing backs.
Penrice and Taylor. Exactly. And I don't think either are wing backs. They're full backs trying to play wing back.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. But yeah,
So,
like
so at least it's the right recipients on the flanks receiving the ball and trying to make things happen, albeit we didn't make as much happen as we perhaps wanted to. But there were signs.
it was my dad's point where he was just like he can't remember. Or he made a point to me. I saw him at the weekend. He made a point. He was like a goal that this Hearts team or the last few Hearts teams would never score is Hartley's first in the semi-final against Hibs, where he just runs through the middle beyond
A fair point.
Jankowskis. It's like none of them. Ironically, the only fucking player
Little give and go.
looked who looked like he was going to do it before he apparently got the worst hamstring injury known to man was Neuenhoff. Neuenhoff looked like he was becoming
Remember
that.
him?
Yeah, remember him? He's not played in fucking 6 months. Genuinely 6 months now. Mad. Fucking mad. Um,
More
he
like to see
looked like
David
it.
Hasselhoff at
I
Tynecastle than
know.
Callum Newhoff.
Exactly. He looked like the guy who was starting to be like, yeah, I'm a goal scoring midfielder with like actual ideas here. I'm not Cammy Devil or Benny
Some
Bedingame who,
invention and some guile, and that
yeah,
might get you places.
Benny and Cammy who literally start basically rocking back and forwards out of fear when they get into the opposition box.
Cammy Devlin, no further than the centre circle. You heard it here
Yeah.
first. Stop tipping for. Stop creeping forward.
He doesn't. He runs forward with such gusto that you think that's a man with confidence. But why he has that confidence, I've no fucking idea. But he's got it.
I don't know. Speaking of a player that's low on confidence, our first opportunity of the second half comes on 58 minutes. Frankie Kent flicks on George Grant's free kick. County clear, only as far as Kai rolls. Moon nods on Talon Forrest. The winger centres for Lawrence Shankland, and our star striker is denied by the woodwork. His thundering effort crashes off the crossbar from close range. Again, there's that chance, the Devlin chance on 2 minutes. Shankland nods wide in the first half. He hits the bar here. Is this going to be our day, Daniel McIver? I don't think it is. And obviously, it since transpired that it's not.
No. It was at this point where I was like, we're not. This was the time where I was
I,
like, we're not going to score, actually.
actually, no, in saying that, you mentioned your luck being in, and when it's out, it's out. Hearts do keep this chance alive. Alan Forrest eventually drives at goal from an angle, and despite Ross Laidlaw blatantly tipping the ball wide of the mark
Oh,
because it was in
yeah.
front of me, the officials give a goal kick.
I could
And
tell
it's
from the other
like,
end.
like you certainly know about it when your luck is not in. This was it here. I'm just thinking the powers that be don't even want us to win. Like we want to try and win. We're doing our best to win. We're not winning, but the officials are just like, no, not today, Hearts. We'll,
Yeah,
we'll leave it
like,
another week, at least.
you absolutely. It's not the reason we lost, but we do have to mention that refereeing performance, which was like
Abysmal.
horrific in just terms of like the worst kind of refereeing performance where he's like, I'm the referee, so you'll listen to me. And it's like, right, everything does need to be a 5 minute conversation. Also, 1 minute added on at the end of that fucking half. How?
Yeah, yeah, weird one. And then six, obviously,
I
at the
think he just
death.
went, shit, I should have added on three at half time. And I didn't. Fuck.
Yeah, it should have been three and four. So if I do one, then I'll have to give six. If
Yeah,
I, yeah, okay,
exactly.
I'm happy with that.
Um, yeah, I turned to my dad and was like, what's going on? What is actually happening?
58 minutes, two changes for Hearts. Blair Spittle coming on for Cammy Devlin, and Barry Mackay, who you tipped to start. Daniel McIver coming on for Kenneth Vargas. I'm gonna say this quietly. He actually looked okay, Barry Mackay at the weekend.
Of course he
I
did,
thought
because it's against an opposition that he'll be like, I'm good against this lot. That's why I would have started him, because it's the 2 games a season he tries. So it's like if we have that from the start, we might
he's
score
devastated
anyway.
that Dundee United are back up instead of
He's
Olivier.
fucked. He's
He's
like, oh
absolutely devastated.
shite. That was my guaranteed 5 assists. Gone.
Or is he ecstatic because he then thinks, well, Dundee United have got a far bigger reputation than Livingston. I don't need to try against them.
True. Oh yeah, he now only has to try against like 2 teams as
Yeah.
opposed to like maybe four. This is where I was like, I couldn't believe Devlin got brought off and George Grant stayed in that park. Couldn't believe it.
I mean, another change on 67 minutes. Why he takes Alan Forrest off, I don't know. Again, I thought Forrest was one of those players that, I've said it, was trying to make things
Yeah, he
happen.
tried. Yeah, at the very least
Like,
tries.
yeah, again, like anything that we were going to do was coming down the left,
Yeah,
be that through Kingsley from deep or Alan Forrest getting, as I've said numerous times now, high and wide. But
I just
no,
punched my desk out of
take
frustration that George
take
Grant's still playing.
take him off, and then Jan Danda plays alongside Grant further up. It's like,
Yeah,
what?
like
Baffling.
it's just crazy. And like this is the thing. Watching that game, I was like, right, okay, we've now got Spittle, Danda, Mackay, Grant, Shankland, all Boyce comes on at the end.
It's like a bloody Jenga puzzle. It's
This
too top heavy.
and this is what I mean. They were trying really fucking hard to be like, don't worry, guys, I'm not taking the job. Don't worry, it's not us.
I don't want the job.
Yeah, exactly. That has to be it. There's no other explanation.
Send me back to the lower league, please.
Yeah, like
I, I mean, Barry Mackay does try and make things happen at least. A nice 1-2 with Lauren Shankland on the edge of the area, but curls his effort high into the Roseburn. Nice build up. And then you've got a corner from George Grant, not properly dealt with. Frankie Kent chests towards Barry Mackay, but high, wide, and not so handsome. I'm clutching at straws here. 72 minutes, Jan Danda tries from range, but he's miles out, tries to beat his former county teammate, Ross Laidlaw, in goal. Doesn't happen. We spoke about Adam Forrester briefly. On 76 minutes, I was really impressed. The fullbacks look to link up. Jan Danda finds Forrester down the right after receiving from Barry Mackay. He whips in a fantastic
Yeah, it's
delivery
a great ball.
across the face of goal, but there's nobody in the vicinity in that prime area to get anything on it, a header, a chest, maybe even a hand. But instead, Stephen Kingsley blazes over at the back stick, and it's like, again, when we're relying on Cammy Devlin to try and nick us a goal, relying on Stephen Kingsley, it's not even a set piece to nick us a goal. What is happening here? What am I watching?
It was starting to get to this point where we were making chances, and I was kind of like, I still have it in me that we're going to score. But as each chance goes by, it's like, oh, maybe we're not, and we're actually going to get fucking beat here. I've seen this script before. I've seen this too many times to count.
And really, Ross County should have sealed the deal on 78 minutes. They
Yeah,
spun a glorious opportunity to double their advantage. Elijah Campbell's long throw is flicked onto the back post by Kairos, and Akil Wright, the Staggy centre back who scored 2 goals in as many matches, somehow heads wide for the
I
Highlanders. A
couldn't believe it.
massive, massive let off for Hearts. Um, and whilst it's still at 1-0, there's always a chance. 86 minutes. Hearts are patiently probing. Blair Spittle, nice to see him finally contribute. Stephen Kingsley, Barry Mackay, all involved in this move. Eventually, it's George Grant who tries his luck, but I was going to say Lawrence Laidlaw, Ross Laidlaw,
Lawrence
hands
Laidlaw.
clear. Lots of Hearts fans angry that Lawrence Shankland doesn't
Yeah,
latch on to the rebound. I thought he might have been offside.
he is offside. I've seen this back. He's offside.
He moves into a completely different direction, and then everybody's raging.
He's
I,
offside.
I was telling people, why is everybody so angry? He looked a
He's
mile off.
he's so clearly fucking offside. Like it's not like the shot happens so it enters like a second phase or something. It's still the same thing.
And don't get me wrong, I've not been overly enamoured by Lawrence Shankland's conduct and the way that he's carried himself in recent weeks. But I can't fault him here. If you're going to be
He knows
offside,
the rules.
just yeah, get out of the action. I don't want. No, we're coming forward. We're trying to equalise. We're trying to salvage a draw against Ross County at home. Don't don't piss this away.
Yeah. I could it was I will say this, actually, you mention it now and I hadn't really got another place to mention it. I felt that especially in the first half, the crowd was like really naive, just so quickly turning and booing at like refs, Ross County, us. And it's like,
Our young
can
player that's making his
yeah.
debut,
It's like,
everything.
can you not all realize that this is exactly what Don Cowie and Ross County will want to happen?
Oh, without
Like,
a doubt.
fucking hell. Just be a bit smarter and be like, all right, okay, we need to know. We always, as we say, we make a big deal about the fact that we're really important in the performance. So fucking act like it. Like, give them the bit, yeah, give a 19, 20-year-old making his debut the benefit of the doubt if he makes a
Oh,
mistake.
crazy, mate. I couldn't believe some of the people around me. I'm
Yeah, I was the
thinking,
same.
honestly, this young man, and then we wonder why Hearts don't produce any youth, why there are no youngsters that come through, and
I
why
know.
most of them end up in the Scottish lower leagues playing part-time football. It's like, well, at least give them a chance.
Yeah.
And do you know what? You mentioned it there. We made 2 changes on 92 minutes. Obviously, Adam Forrester comes off, which was nice to get that ovation from the crowd and whatever. Daniel Oyugoki comes on. George Grant gets taken off. Now, to me, this was, of course, far too late. Liam Boyce comes on. Again, our only recognised striker on the bench. Probably too late. George Grant attracts criticism. I am one of his critics. I'm not a huge George Grant fan. But what I will say is, I do get really annoyed at Hearts fans booing their own players. I just
Yeah,
think
it's insane.
it's so counterproductive. And again, Liam Boyce comes on. He got booed on in Paisley when coming on against St Mirren. Not for me. Not for me. Liam Boyce has been an excellent servant to the football club. Do I believe he's got a part to play for Hearts this season? Not particularly. Do I think that he's coming towards the end of his time at the club? Probably. Would I then use that as fuel to verbally abuse him and take out my anger and frustration upon him. No, because look, it's their job. Like I wouldn't expect as a delivery driver customers to be absolutely slewing me going, "What the hell are you early for?" Or why is this a mess? Like you've
Yeah.
obviously done this. It's like yes, things don't come off, but find another way to release your frustration.
Yeah, so
Booing your players just it does not make any sense to me, and it never will. No matter how frustrated I'll get with Hearts players, they're trying the best, hopefully, for my football club. If I see they're giving maximum effort, fine. I can accept them not being the best footballer because we support Hearts. If they were, they ain't gonna be here for long.
but additionally, right, because I'm very much I've never booed at the football, right? I just never have. I just don't get it. Because I'm almost it's really childish, and it's like there's better ways to communicate that you're pissed off. Like shout shit that you're actually annoyed at. Like that's better because it's actually communicative. And it's like I know the argument will be, but the easiest way is to just boo because that shows disdain. But also, that can be really easily like misinterpreted by people who are trying to fuck you over. So, like, not our situation, but like, for example, much higher than us, look at Man United, right? Who just seem to be in permanent disarray, right? And it's like they just got battered off Ange and there was booing. That board could be like, they're not booing because a lot of Man United fans are annoyed at the structure of the club and stuff like that. That board could go, oh well, they're booing. They're clearly just booing the result. We don't need to do anything as long as we win next time. It's fine. It's like no, they're booing. Like there's clearly bigger things here. So if you actually communicate it properly, it's way better than boo. Because yeah, booing's just like if I was a player, I'd just be like, all right, sound cool, like whatever. It doesn't bother me. Fine. Whereas if someone was actually having like a dialogue with me, I'd be like, okay, well, I could actually understand that. I get like that specific point. I might disagree, but you can at least understand what their actual issue is.
Yeah, crazy. But hope appeared to be lost as we enter 95 minutes. Jan Dander clipping forward as Hearts are throwing the kitchen sink at the Staggies at this point. Blair Spittle heads it on. County clear. Fortunately, hits off our new number 16 into the path of Frankie Kent. He finds Liam Boyce. A nice back heel from Boycey. Appears to slip in Lawrence Shankland. A few yards out. Again, goal at his wake. But Ross Laidlaw is on rushing to deny him from close range. However, from the resulting Jan Danda corner, which even Craig Gordon comes forward for, Lawrence Shankland, at least it looked like, heads home his first goal of the season and rescues Hearts a point. Woo! Come
Craig Gordon
on.
assist. I'm claiming it because if Craig Gordon isn't
You're claiming
there,
it more than Craig Gordon
yep.
is.
If Craig Gordon isn't there, the Ross County defender can just easily head it. But Gordon physically, because I've seen the goal back, because I saw the angle that's like looking into the box. And you actually, fair play to him, you see that Shankland drops his head and like nods it towards. He knows what he's doing. It doesn't just hit him. It's like, fair play, Lawrence. Fair
Something
play.
had to come off for him.
Yeah. But,
Otherwise, again, the weight that will have been lifted from his shoulders
yes,
must be, the sense of relief must be incomparable.
I'll call them out. My dad and my brother had left at this point. So when Craig Gordon started running up, I was like, there is nothing I want more on top of just me and my love affair with Craig Gordon anyway. But
I
there's
was on the
nothing I want
steps.
more. Oh,
I was
imagine
on the
if Craig
verge.
Gordon had fucking headed that in. Listen, I'm buzzing for you, Shanks. And what,
Thank God. Hopefully, this is the first of a
yeah.
few.
So my summing up thoughts of this game are I just went with the attitude of we have stopped the rot. We've
Yeah,
not lost
look,
again.
it's better than nothing. Of course it is.
Yes.
But
So
a point at home to Ross County, given our start to the
it's a
season,
terrible result
and
regardless
this
of
stage,
context.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's nothing to be too chipper about. But
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
But if we have to take positives, our striker has got a first goal. We didn't lose again after we were on a historic run of defeats. And I think if we're being very honest with ourselves, fans aren't very expectant of the next two games in terms of points.
No.
So it hopefully will give a manager a complete clean slate, but being like, right, there's even at the very least something to build on with this team and move forward.
I'm also going to say a decent enough debut for an
Yeah,
academy graduate, a
yeah,
teenager
totally.
that,
Absolutely. I
that we
think he
hope
fell
that we
out the
hope
game a bit, but that's totally to be expected.
he looked done in by the
Oh, he
end. I could
looked
see why they took him
fuck
off.
it like 75th minute. He was just
Yeah.
constantly feeling his legs for
So a
crap.
decent enough debut for our B team captain, first involvement with the first team. But to me, the overriding positive is Benny Beningame was back to his best
He was so
by
clearly the
a
best player.
country mile our best player on the
He was
park.
faultless.
What a
Just
wonderful,
amazing.
wonderful footballer he really is. Our best midfielder when fully fit. Anybody that does not rate Benny Beningame, we're not friends. Simple as.
And that's the harshest criticism you can get. Um, yeah, just he didn't deserve to lose or even draw that game. He
He was
deserved to win
incredible.
it. But it's like,
Should have.
right, Benny, you can fucking stay
He should.
fit.
He should have nicked that equaliser. Benny
Yeah,
Beningame,
exactly.
a tackle from three
Yeah,
yards.
yeah, which is how he's scored previously. Um, I was about to say against Ross County, but it wasn't. It was against St Mirren, wasn't it?
Yes, in the
Yeah,
cup.
it
Was
was.
it? Was it the cup?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was in the Cup actually. Aye, fair play
Yeah.
to him. Hopefully, continue that forward under a new manager.
And forward we look. Two fixtures to round off the week. Our European campaign gets underway
Yay!
against the Belarusian team in Azerbaijan, played behind closed doors.
I won't even be watching it. I'm going to see Ed Byrne. So,
Oh, nice.
so
Playhouse?
no, it's at the Festival Theatre.
Oh, nice.
No, it's not. It's at Queen's Hall. I keep thinking it's at the Festival Theatre. It's beside the Festival Theatre at Queen's
Hopefully,
Hall. I saw
hopefully
Tim
you
mention
attend
last
the
year.
right venue.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
would be a good
exactly. I
start.
just sit there and I'm just like, the fuck's happening?
Is he
Um,
coming on?
yeah, there's Hamilton on here. What the fuck's this? So yeah, I won't even be watching it. So Hearts will win 7-0, and it'll be so convincing.
Oh, please. Our first competitive win of the season and McIver misses it. Oh, what I would give. Come on, Hearts. This is it. In all seriousness, we are somehow favourites with the bookies. I've never even heard of Dynamo Minsk.
My
Hold
dad's
my
been
hands up.
outside their ground.
That's
There's
random.
that. There's that.
I know nothing about Belarusian football, know none of their players. What? How should we feel? Should we? Am I? I'm scared. I'm scared that we are the favourites here.
I
Something has
don't
to go
care.
wrong.
I don't care about this game. I don't care about
No,
the
I know
European
I do.
results.
No, no, I care about this game because we need something from somewhere.
But I don't know how
The,
good they are, so I don't know if we are meant to be favourites
it doesn't. It
properly.
doesn't. To me, I don't think it matters. Our players have forgotten how to win a game of football, McIver. We need a win. I don't
That's
even
true.
care. I don't even care how convincing or how scrappy this is. If it's the scrappiest 1-0 with a Benny Beningame tackle or a Kenneth Vargas overhead kick from 30 yards, I
Yeah.
don't care. Just win the game. Find
It
a way
might
to win the
do.
game. And then we go into the weekend, as you say, Tawdry, not a happy hunting ground for us against an Aberdeen team that are absolutely flying. But then at least there's a bit of confidence. Because if we don't have any confidence, we ain't picking anything up from Pataudry, I'm afraid.
It might do this squad good that it's behind closed doors.
I agree with that.
I
At
don't
least they
know if
won't
it
get
will be
booed.
the case. Yeah, they will get booed unless Liam Fox is just like fucking boo. I'm emulating it, lads. I'm keeping you in the
Imagine that.
zone.
Imagine the border in attendance and they're just up
Joel
in the
Sked's
stands.
there. He'll boo. It'll be fine. Him and Barry Anderson. Loving her.
Imagine
I
that. The
don't know what's going to
cameras
happen.
just pan to them and they're chucking up the signs and all sorts.
They've hired an Azerbaijan plane to get the board out. I
What do
have
we
no
think? Because
idea what's going to
we can't,
happen.
we can't even predict this either, can we? It's
One
just
all,
such an unknown.
1-1.
Um, I I don't think we keep a clean sheet. I said against Ross County, and
Nah,
I can't. I don't know. 2-1 Hearts or 1-0 Hearts? I'll go 1-0 Hearts. I'll be as optimistic as I
You
can.
just
Clean
said you
sheet,
don't think we'll keep a
grind
clean
it out.
sheet.
No, I know,
And then
but
you went, well, no.
no, I'm going to try and speak it into existence.
Okay.
We'll keep a clean sheet and we'll win 1-0.
I'm going 1-1 because I
I
know
want more,
nothing about
I
them.
want more than one goal scorer, lead scorer. Shankland again. Hopefully, it's part of
Yeah.
a run.
Shankland penalty.
Okay. And then Aberdeen at the
We'll get
weekend,
beat 3-1.
a European hangover.
We'll get
I'm
beat
saying
3-1.
we'll get beat 2-0.
Okay. Well, same deficit.
Yeah.
I'm
You're
just
just
apparently
you're
optimistic that
optimistic
we'll score.
yeah, I was gonna say, love that from you.
Yeah.
I think we'll be absolutely fatigued and fucked, and that'll be that.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
6 hour journey.
Which would you rather, a journey to Azerbaijan or to Aberdeen? I think I'd rather go
Azerbaijan.
to Azerbaijan. Yeah.
Azerbaijan, definitely. Baku's meant to be quite nice.
It's going to be warm as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
That'll be
exactly.
nice. Aberdeen freezing.
Yeah, the North
But
Sea
then
just hitting you in the fucking face in that stand.
the only positive is that you get to come home, and even then, it's like, okay,
Still got
all
that
right.
journey. But that. But fair play to those going. I'm not.
Not many of us are.
That's why. No, to Aberdeen.
But you did
No,
Azerbaijan. Oh
that would be
dear.
such a specific shout out to Joel
Shout out
Sked
to
and
the
Barry
36
Anders.
club representatives that will be making their way.
No, I mean Aberdeen,
Oh,
and that
we
explains
wish the
why I
Hearts,
can't
we
get
wish
the
the Hearts
Inverdarn
8 all the
tickets.
best.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh dear. Right,
But
the end is near.
right,
Hopefully, the search for a win is near its end, but the end is near. Quiz, 5 questions. You've got a multiple choice. You've got a true or false. You've then got two other questions that are really hard and you're not going to be happy with. But I think I've evened it out with an easy "Who am I?" So,
right, okay.
you
I
ready
will
to
now
rock and
get
roll?
4 out of 5 and fail the Who Am I?
Okay. Question number one. Hearts finally scored their first league goal at Tynecastle in the 2024-25 season. But who scored our first Scottish Premiership goal in Gorgie of the 2023-24 campaign? Was it A, Lawrence Shankland, B, Liam Boyce, C, Alan Forrest, or D, Utaro Oda?
Fuck was the first game of last season at Tynecastle? That doesn't actually answer the question because we could have just not scored in that first game. Oh, the very first game, Oda scored because it was away at St Johnstone,
I think you need to listen to the question again.
right?
Hearts finally scored their first league goal at Tynecastle in the 2024-25 season. But who scored our first Scottish Premiership goal in Gorgie of the
That's what I'm saying.
2023-24 campaign? All right, okay.
That's what I meant.
Quizzes. Right, okay.
I was like, oh no, the thing I'm remembering is Oda
Is
scoring
that
at
Otis? Right, okay.
St Johnstone,
All right,
and
right.
the last game of the season before he scored then, and he bookended it.
Okay.
So I don't think it's Oda. Shanklin, Forrest, and who was the other option?
Shankland, Boyce, or Forrest?
Don't think it's Boyce. Or is it weirdly Boyce because he played at the start of the season quite a fair amount? I'm going to go Alan Forrest because he had a good start to the season.
Daniel McIver, you discounted Utaro Oda, you
Shit.
discounted Liam Boyce, and the two of them both scored against Aberdeen on the 16th of September 2023. Utaro Oda netted the opener at McDiarmid Park, and he scored our first goal at home as well as away from home this
Fucking
season.
hell.
That's a good
Fair
start, that. I
play.
didn't I didn't know that. I
Yeah.
completely forgot about that game. Completely forgot about it.
Absolutely fair play, Utaro. Where's that been for the last year?
I'm so pleased that you discounted him right at the start because I thought you might go Shankland and that
That
I'm
was it.
double
Yeah, I was
bluffing that
like,
it's
do I
too
just do
easy
it?
or too
Yeah. But I
obvious.
was like,
Yeah.
he had a bad start. He didn't get off
Right.
to a good start.
You are correct. Question number two. Former Jambo, Connor Randall, captained Ross County to a 1-1 draw against Hearts at the weekend. True or false? The Liverpool Academy graduate never scored a goal for the Men in Maroon during his loan spell.
I thought it was going to be, can you name the last Hearts player who captained Ross County? And I was like, fucking Dog County, surely. It was surely him.
Donaldo, what a man.
I have no memory of Connor Randall scoring. I have very few memories of Connor Randall. The only
Lucky
main one,
you.
the main one is that he played in that 4-0, um, which is just continually funny. Just so funny.
Starting 11 that day. Oh my
Cole
goodness.
Stockton and Rafa Jelak coming on as subs for a fucking laugh and nothing else. Um,
Even Craig Levine post match saying that when it got to about 80, 85 minutes, he thought we might actually win
we might
this.
do it. What a day. Bring them back.
That was incredible. What a day.
I'm going to say it's true. He never scored for us.
Daniel McIver, you are correct. Connor Randall never
It was
scored for
so
Hearts.
shit. It was so bad.
He looked good at the weekend again. We are in the trenches, well and truly.
I think he did. I think the guy who partnered him, who is the smallest player to ever play at Tynecastle, Josh Nisbet, 5'2",
Yeah,
just blew my mind.
he's apparently well, he's meant to have had some ridiculous high, like he's meant to have been dubbed the next big thing. Is it
He
down
looked. I
under
thought. I
that he
thought he
got to?
looked good
So,
at the weekend.
so there you go. Um, Question number three. Hearts are currently on a run of 12 competitive games without a victory. I should stress you've got Scott, aka Hearts Stats, to thank for this. When was the last time that the Jambos were on such a long wait for a win?
You are taking the piss that I do not get options here. What? 1908 to '09. I'm not even fucking about trying to work it
Fast forward 90 years and you're correct.
out. No way.
The 1998-99 season, after winning the Scottish Cup in 97-98, Hearts went 13 without a win between December 98 and April 99. Now, I was born in June 98, so if my father thought that I was the unlucky child heading into this season, I wouldn't have blamed him. I'd have
Yeah.
probably ended up getting rid of me.
Yeah.
So
What a shock,
I'm
eh?
glad he stuck around, he stuck with me, and yeah, there you
See,
go.
I rock up, and within 9 months, we win a cup for the first time in
Yeah, thanks,
decades. You rock
thanks.
up, and we're
Yeah.
immediately shite.
I mean, they couldn't have fast forwarded it 2 weeks. They couldn't have done it 2 weeks sooner. No, just that's fine. Thanks, mum and dad. Appreciate it. Instead, I was raced home for Scotland versus Brazil at France '98. Thanks for that. Fucking hell! About a day old, just plonked in front of the telly.
Hey, it's the same reaction you have to Hearts games now, so
True,
it's fine.
true. I was happier then. Happier then. I
Exactly.
was blissfully unaware as to what was going on.
Exactly.
Question number four. Oh, you're really not gonna like this one. This is
Fucking,
wild, dude.
this is a joke, man.
Adam Forrester was handed his Hearts debut at the weekend, but who was the last Youth Academy graduate to start for Hearts and make their first team debut?
I feel like it's Aaron Hickey at Celtic or at Hibs.
Again, again, I will stress this was me asking Scott, and I guessed two players before he eventually gave me this answer.
I think it's
So it's
either.
very hard.
I think it's either Aaron Hickey or Connor Smith
Oh, Connor Smith wasn't a bad shout.
because I think it's that Hibs game in preparation for the Celtic game. But I remember Connor Smith played.
He was really good at Easter Road that day.
He was
He was
fucking
the
him.
equaliser.
It was that
Yeah,
day where I was like, we've got somebody on our hands
yeah, he
here.
was really good that day.
I'll be really annoyed if it's Hickey if I went with Smith, whereas I'd be just kind of pleasantly surprised if it was Smith if I go with Hickey. So I'm going to go with Aaron Hickey,
I also guessed Aaron Hickey at first.
right?
We're both wrong.
Okay.
There's somebody more recent than that. Somebody more recent than
Oh,
Connor Smith as well.
it's not Irvin. It's not Andy
No,
Irvin.
again, who I thought of.
No,
Can't believe
he
he's in
he
that
came
Scotland
on as a
squad.
sub. He came on as a sub. He was in the squad for the 16-17 season, by the way.
Really?
Yep, I have a. I'll send it to you, and you can put it on Twitter if you want. My dad found a programme from 1617, and on the back of it
Oh, how they used
is
to
the
do the names
squad
and the
list.
flags.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And number 44, Andrew Irving, 1617. Look
Wow.
there for folks. Yeah.
I was going to say I can't
Yeah.
see that, but that's wow.
1617 season. He would have been about 15, 16 that he was
Bloody
there.
hell.
Who is it then?
It's actually a player that you thought was going to be a big thing.
Eden Keena?
No,
Fuck.
but around about then, time-wise.
Round about then. Rory Curry?
No,
Who?
I think it's a few years later. Scott McGill was actually our last
Oh,
academy
of
graduate to
course.
start.
Of course. I didn't even
Oh,
think of like him, Pollock, and stuff like that.
the game's horrible. A 1-0 victory over Cowdenbeath, the 2021 League Cup group stage. We played Cowdenbeath 2 years on the spin because I said to Scott, I think it was at that game, Craig Halkett headed home a winner. But turns out he did that in back-to-back seasons. I was at the first
Brilliant.
one, but then the second was COVID and nobody was there. So, but yeah, I can't believe it's been 4 seasons since we've had a youth academy graduate start and make their debut. That is shocking.
That's good. Especially considering within those 4 seasons, we've had 2 times where we ran to third and kind of had like 7 games that didn't
Yeah,
really
meaningless
matter.
fixtures. You'd think,
Yeah.
yeah, chuck somebody in, but here you
Wow,
go.
that is surprising.
So no wonder that our youth development is currently shocking.
Shite.
We can get to that at another point. But a tough quiz. I'm not gonna lie.
I
I made
didn't
that
get
hard.
zero. That was all I
Exactly.
cared
Yeah.
about.
Exactly. You did well. You did well considering the
I
circumstances.
didn't do
But
well. I just didn't do
no, you did.
disastrously.
That was horrible. That was stinky. That was evil. That's what that was. But you can redeem yourself in the Who Am I?
I can.
Ready?
Yeah, let's go.
After rejecting the chance to sign for a Belgian club to begin my professional career, I made my senior debut in North America against the club where I would finish my career. Hearts were one of only 2 European clubs I played for in my career, but I failed to score for the club during my time in Edinburgh despite playing a key role. I later became a teammate of one of the greatest centre forwards of our generation. I was only capped a handful of times for my country, despite representing them at 4 different age levels before I hung the boots up, aged just 30. Who am I?
Fucking
Let me
hell.
get this man's Wikipedia up while you get your thinking cap on.
I initially thought it was going to be Kevin McKenna, but he played more for Canada than that. And I'm pretty sure he didn't retire at 30.
Also
Um,
pretty sure he scored a goal for Hearts.
well, my main point was going to be he scored a bicycle kick because Kevin McKenna is in my Hearts 11. Because I love that man.
Oh, that's right. We did it. Yeah,
Love
that's
him.
right.
Right. I need to narrow this down. I'm not going batshit. What ground did they score at when Easter Road's the obvious shout, like somebody did last week? I'm
That's the
going,
best question I've ever asked on
yeah,
this
it's
podcast.
it's 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 up there with the very first time we did this quiz, and you the entire time going, I think it's Ruben Palazuelos, and then just not guessing anybody and giving up.
Oh, DDV.
Incredible.
Shocker. Absolute shocker.
Between what seasons did this man play for Hearts?
Thought you might go down this route, which was a bit worrying. Um, he played for Hearts between 2016 and 2017.
Oh, he was there for a year. Fuck off. Influential. Played with one of the best. That to me screams Ibrahimovic.
Okay.
At fucking whoever he played. Oh fuck! Did he not sign for? No, it wasn't LA Galaxy. Who was it? Somebody played with Ibra. Fuck! I can't remember who it was. Is it Perry Kitchen? Perry Kitchen someday. It's in my head, but I feel like we've done Perry Kitchen. I also feel like Perry Kitchen was there for longer than a year.
Okay.
But Perry Kitchen's a good one to kind of have, considering you're speaking about North America and all that kind of pattern.
Okay.
Godinho is another shout, but again, he was there longer. And I think we've done Godinho. I'm almost
Okay.
certain we've done Godinho. Perry Kitchen's in my head. Do I ask the position? Do I ask the nationality? Well, Surely
You get
Perry
asked what
Kitchen.
grounds they played at during their
Yes,
professional career.
exactly. Surely Perry Kitchen's still kicking a ball. Surely he didn't retire. Did you say retired internationally or just retired at 30?
Retired, full stop, 30 years
Fuck
old.
me. I'm thinking it's Perry Kitchen. How do I narrow it down to find out if it isn't Perry Kitchen? Because there could be a bullshit thing. Like Bjorn Johnsen was American, but he played for another nation. He played for like Norway or something.
Norway.
Yeah. I think we've done Bjorn Johnsen. And he definitely Bjorn Johnsen scored for us. Scored a few. Scored a
Mind
few.
you, just because you're a centre forward and played for Hearts doesn't necessarily
Doesn't
mean that you
guarantee
scored
it.
for them.
Yeah. Right. Oh, because you could be a prick. And if I go what position, you could be
Oh,
like,
thanks, mate.
whatever. I mean, have you seen this quiz? You could be like whatever it's listed on in Wikipedia, and Perry Kitchen might be listed as like an anchor because he's American, so they just give random thing. I've
The
seen
Yanks
FM
just chuck out
roles.
these
Yeah,
terms. Yeah, yeah.
exactly. A halfback, and it's like I need to know if he's a centre mid or
Ooh, he's
not.
playing as a halfback.
Yeah. What nationality is this man?
This man is from USA,
It
USA,
has to be.
USA.
It has to be Perry Kitchen. I'm going Perry Kitchen.
McIver. It has to be Perry Kitchen. And it is Perry Kitchen.
I fuck.
USA,
I loved
USA,
Perry Kitchen.
USA.
Captain America. I bought the shirt. I didn't really. I wish I had. Um.
I've got an America top with that my dad's cousin brought over, and
Oh
I
right. Okay.
I got six in kitchen
That's
six on the back at the
amazing.
club store. It's hawking. I'm trying to sell it on Vinted if anybody's interested. Adam
I'll
C.
have it.
Kendall, the username. Oh, for
That would
good
be
God.
class. I loved
Um,
Perry Kitchen so much. He
so
knew what he
yes,
was. He knew he wasn't flashy. He knew he wasn't exciting. He just did a job.
came in to do his job. Rejected the chance for a Belgian club to begin his professional career. I'll just go through it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was signed up for soccer by his mother, and he actually passed on a trial offer from Anderlecht to sign one of
Wow.
those. He signed a Generation Adidas contract with
Ah, one
MLS,
of the
and then I
things.
think they allocate you a club or whatever,
Yeah,
and you're
you just get
drafted.
sent a boot.
It was selected by DC United in the first round of the draft. Made his debut in the 2011 MLS season opener against the Columbus Crew. That was his last club. He retired 2 years ago in
Oh,
October.
because he got like, was it an injury and an illness or something?
I think he did, yeah. A herniated disc.
Yeah.
He'd undergone successful back surgery for a herniated disc. But yeah, failed to score, obviously, because he was a defensive midfielder.
Yeah.
Later became a teammate of, as you said, Zlatan
It
Ibrahimovic
was
at the L
Ibra.
at the LA Galaxy.
It
That's
was
right.
LA Galaxy. Why do I know
And
so much about Perry Kitchen's
and
life and career?
Ashley Cole was there as well at the same time, I think.
Really?
Yeah, I think he played with Ashley Cole and Zlatan. Capped only a handful of times by America, represented them at four different age
That
levels, but yeah,
surprises me.
age just 30.
What a shame.
Any idea who the other European club that he played for was?
I
Who
have
we sold him to?
absolutely no idea.
No.
Nah,
He was sold to Danish Superliga club Randers.
I would never have got that.
Um,
Wow. I don't
played
even
less
remember us
often
selling them.
played less often after Cathro came in, and then he was allowed to leave the
Yeah.
club at the end of that season. So yeah, July 2017 left for Randers, and then retired 5 years later on my dad's birthday, October
Wow.
26th, 2022.
Wow.
So coming up to 2 years for the big
That is
man's
crazy.
retirement.
Well, let us know if you also got Penny Kitchen and how well you did on the death quiz. I'm actually surprised. We've done well to get an hour and 20 minutes out of this, by the way. How
We
have we
have.
done this?
We have because there was stuff to get off our chest.
True.
There was
Tangents,
forced optimism, tangents, talking about Zlatan Ibrahimovic and discs and
America
Azerbaijan
tops.
and American tops. Anybody fancies it? Get on Vinted
Yep.
or I'll send it to McIver.
So we hope you have enjoyed all of it. If you have, please leave us a review on your podcast platform of choice. Massively helps us out. If you've been watching us on YouTube, please have a like, comment, and subscribe. Perth to Paisley on all the socials. Perth to Paisley at gmail.com if you want to fire us over an email. Adam, where can they get you? on all the socials.
You can find me on the socials watching a compilation of Zlatan Ibrahimovic's best goals for LA Galaxy in the hope that Perry Kitchen's head will pop up at Adam T. Kendall.
One of them where like Kitchen passes it to him on the halfway line. Ibra just runs and beats everybody and slots it
Not
in.
even, just passes it, sort of flicks one up, volleys it from the
Yeah,
centre
fair.
circle, and then Perry Kitchen's desperate to be in the celebration,
Yeah.
so he runs first. Yeah,
I
I can see that.
remember a quote from Zlatan when he was there, where he was asked when he was compared to Carlos Vela. Remember the
Yes,
Mexican winger?
ex-Arsenal.
And
Yep.
he was like, he was asked, it was like, oh, well, you're both doing very well in the league. And Zlatan just looks at the interviewer and goes, how old am I? And he's like 35 or however old he was. And he's like, how old's Carlos? And he's like 24, 25. And he was like, when I was his age, I'd won two Champions Leagues and was playing at the top level. He is here and I'm better than him. So that shows the difference.
I know what you're talking about. That occasionally pops up on TikTok from time to
Yeah,
time. I'm getting quizzed, and then they play it with like and they like discolor it, and then they play that music over it and sort of
yeah.
still it to make Zlatan just sit there and just be like, "Yeah, I nailed that."
And now he's involved with AC Milan in some way.
What a guy, hero.
Well, next week we won't be speaking about Zlatan. I mean, maybe we'll just do check-ins weekly and see how he's doing. But we will be back to speak about all the fallout from Europe, all the fallout from Aberdeen, if we're linked or have a new manager. Who knows? It could all happen. But until then, we'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Ah!